Amor Healing Kitchen is a Charleston-based non-profit organization that provides nutritious and healing meals to people with serious health challenges. Today, I talk one-on-one with the founder and executive director of this organization, Maria Kelly, for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Maria Kelly, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you so much, Quintin. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Needless to say, you are the founder and executive director of Amor Healing Kitchen, which is a Charleston-based nonprofit organization that actually provides nutritious healing meals made by teenage volunteers for people facing serious health challenges. Let me ask you, Maria, what's new, what's now at Amor Healing Kitchen?
What's new? Oh, lots of stuff is new. We over the past year, we've increased the number of clients that we're serving. We moved into a new location in Avondale, into a new kitchen. We're at 2 Magnolia Road now, the old Kaminsky's, and that has allowed us to really increase and expand the number of clients that we're serving, and also host cooking classes. So we're in the midst of our fall kickoff for cooking classes, which is really fun.
Oh, and I love over there in Avondale because next door is Verde, where I love to get my kale Caesar salad, perhaps ironically.
There you go. That's good stuff right there.
Indeed. So tell me, from the time that you moved, obviously, from the old location to the new location, how many clients have you increased by?
Almost tripled. So, and we actually did triple one week, but I think we just needed a larger space and a more centralized location, and that's allowed more awareness of our organization, and it just has more space. It's just the ability to kind of scale up really happened by moving. So
yes, ma'am. In that space, what else can you do?
Well, really, we want to stay pretty focused on the people that we serve, bringing meals to people in the community who are facing serious health challenges. So over 50% of our clients are facing a cancer diagnosis. So we'd really just like to increase the number of people that we're reaching, and kind of focus that program, and also expanding our teen chef program. So we have teen volunteers that prepare the meals for our clients, so they're learning valuable lifelong skills, cooking skills, and just how to give back to the community. And so we're really looking to expand and strengthen that part of our program as well.
Yep.
So that's kind of the main, what we want to stay focused with, is education and the number of people that we're able to impact in the community.
And so how many of those teenagers, how many meals have those teenagers prepared over the past year?
Well, my goodness, that would be math that I needed ahead of time. We just marked 5 years in February, Valentine's Day of this year. And we did the math then, and over our kind of lifetime of 5 years, we have served 45,000 meals.
Ooh. And where exactly are these meals going here in the Low Country?
Yeah, so we deliver really to a wide area. Kind of, if you drew a 30-minute radius around our kitchen, that's kind of the limit of what people are willing to drive on a Friday in Charleston with the traffic. So there's, deep into Mount Pleasant, North Charleston, West Ashley, James Island, Johns Island, Wadmalaw, Folly Beach. So really a wide area of delivery, thanks to our delivery angels that are willing to take the meals. And then, like I said, mostly people that are they have to be under a doctor's care and facing one of the diagnoses that we have listed on our website. So that includes cancer, HIV, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, recovering from a recent major surgery, just all the things that people really need nourishment in order for their body to heal.
Absolutely. And so now that you have this space, Miss Maria, where else do you want to expand this delivery to?
Well, luckily we've been able to include now our place as a pickup point. So we have people that contact us from Somerville, or kind of really Somerville, but outside of our delivery area, and they are able to now come and pick up the meals if that's a possibility for them. Otherwise, we just, there's a lot more people we can reach in our current delivery area, and so that's what we want to do.
And so, out of all of those clients, how many people actually come by your space and actually pick up those meals versus getting them delivered to them?
Very small, maybe 5%. So the majority are getting the meals delivered to them. But it's just really, if they've heard about us and they live outside of the delivery area, then they have the option to come and pick up.
And so, what are people aware of when it comes to Amor Healing Kitchen here in the Low Country?
I'm sorry, I missed that question.
Yes, ma'am. So, when it comes to Amor Healing Kitchen, what are people aware of when it comes to this nonprofit?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people that have been following us or kind of on the journey with us understand how holistically we're trying to approach this. I mean, it's really a problem in our society of chronic disease, and a lot of it, about 80% of what we're facing is through lifestyle, which includes the food that we eat. So trying to bring more education and inspiration to the community of how they can incorporate more whole foods into their diet, get away from processed foods, how to prepare whole foods. I think it's very intimidating, especially as far as we've come away from making our own food at home. It's a little intimidating if your doctor tells you that you should be incorporating more greens into your diet and cutting out processed foods. It's kind of like, where do you start? So I think that's what we are starting to really build with our community is that they can come to us for inspiration and education and nourishment if they're in need.
And what's that nourishment that people need right now? What are those foods that you and your team are looking at that said, hey, the community wants to take a look and want to try?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of research out there that encourages us to eat more fiber-rich foods, so more whole grains and vegetables and fruits, everything fresh. And so that's really what we encourage people to do. We serve whole foods, plant-based food, which means we don't use any animal ingredients in our foods. However, what we really just want to convey is that there's no research out there that says eating more vegetables and fruits is bad for your health. So, everyone kind of has to figure out how their body reacts to different foods and choose what's right for them, but really getting away from processed foods, ultra processed foods. And here in the Low Country we have such an abundance of local food from farmers right around town, so encouraging people to go out and support those farmers and find out what grows locally and in season. That is also kind of a way to get inspired in your kitchen. If you think that, just tomatoes and, bananas and just the things that we're starting to get year round now, but they're not very good out of season. They're not good when they come from halfway across the world. When you eat a fresh tomato from a farm in the Low Country in the summer, Quintin, you know what I'm talking about. It is so good. You can't deny that. There's a difference. So just learning to eat seasonally and finding out where you can access those foods. There's a lot of farmers markets around town now for our community that might not have easy access to those foods. There's organizations like ours or Low Country Street Grocery that we're really trying to get to, the good food to the people. So to everyone, regardless of your income level or where you live, that we should all have access to food that keeps us healthy and nourished.
And what public-private partnerships do you want to have right now to continue this?
We have a great partnership right now with Charleston Parks Conservancy. They're a local nonprofit, and they grow a good percentage of our produce. Um, we have a partnership with Cuisine Rescue, which is another nonprofit that goes around to grocery stores and restaurants and sort of rescues food that is still good and fresh, but for one reason or another, it needs to be cleared off the shelves. So they donate a lot of our food as well. And he goes to Trader Joe's and, some other places around town to source that. And then Whole Foods West Ashley also is a great partnership for us.
That's amazing. That's really, really great to hear. And when you talk about those seasonal foods, what's in season right now that you all are actually using for your nutrition?
Oh, like personally or for Amor?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, it's pretty much the same. I mean, right now we're shifting gears into the fall, so there's starting to be a lot more greens coming into the kitchen, which are so good for you. Fresh greens that you can eat in a salad, but also the collard and kale is starting to come in too. So moving into the season of soups and stews and all those fun comfort foods that get us ready for the winter.
Oh, absolutely. And you talked earlier, Maria, about this journey. What has that journey been like emotionally for you for the past 5 years?
Well, that's such an interesting question. I mean, when I really stay to the core and the foundation of what we do, everything we do is with amor, which means love in Spanish. That's catching me on a really good day. Because having a grassroots nonprofit and keeping the wheels spinning is challenging. But when it comes down to it, I feel like this is, I can't imagine being in any other position. I love what I do. I love what we do. I love who we've been able to connect with and meet in the community just through this work. It's been amazing. We live in an amazing place, Quintin, don't we?
We do. Absolutely. And let me ask you, what has been the most powerful thing to recognize with your nonprofit?
Just some of the very heartfelt messages we've received from our clients in what a difference our food made for them while they were going through chemotherapy or other types of challenges. That someone can just go into their kitchen and open this, package that has love in it through nourishment. Really, what they're opening is kind of a love message from our community to them, that we're supporting them, and that they really get that. They feel that. We know it works because of the feedback that we get. It helps them with their energy levels. It helps them lower their stress. Not having to worry about cooking or finding their next meal, and just having that good stuff already for them. And then with our teens, I think it's so impactful what they can accomplish and what they can do if you provide the space for them to grow into and give back to the community and be a part of, shaping the health of their community. Literally is what they're doing. And learning how to cook. We have one teen that ended up going to culinary school after volunteering with us. So that's, super exciting.
So, what is the art of cooking in your mind?
Wow, great question. The art of cooking for me, it's the kitchen is my happy place. It's not, I never feel like, oh, I have to cook at the end of the day. It's more like, wow, I get to now, close my laptop and put some time into, peeling my vegetables and cutting them and using spices and seeing how it all comes together and then sharing it with a loved one. To me, that is kind of the art of cooking, is finding joy and peace, and some kind of feeling of connection with yourself or nature. I love to cook. Love it.
And what else is cooking helping you to connect with?
I think it helps connect you with the person you're sharing the meal with. You know, there's nothing more fun than sitting down and sharing a big potluck meal with friends and talking about food and what we like. And I think it also connects us with the earth. Like, we will not survive if our soil isn't healthy. We have to have healthy soil. We have to have a healthy ecosystem for the earth to keep providing things that we can eat. We're interconnected. And so I think when you really are like buying food from your farmer and and then using that in a meal and realizing, oh, I feel good after that meal. You know, it's like this whole cycle, and then that makes me want to, you know, make sure that I'm composting and that I'm not using chemicals on my lawn and things like that. Things that can really just keep this circle continuing, because otherwise we're going to be in big trouble.
And you talk about composting. So how are you integrating that into your cooking and delivery?
Well, we compost. Um, so yeah, we had a composting system, and now we use a commercial composter, local composting system that picks up our compost, because we just started generating so much. But even all the packaging that we use is also compostable. When we have events, we try to keep things very environmentally friendly. So we just try to be kind of aware of our own footprint. Even though we're putting good out into the world through our meals, you also have to be very conscious of the waste that you produce in that process. So we try to keep the waste to a minimum.
And obviously, when you talk about delivery, there's some things that some of the patients and yourself are obviously thinking about. So when it comes to delivery to those patients, how are some of those patients, some of your clients, I should say, compromised because they actually live alone?
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, living alone, I think when you're facing a health challenge is it can be very isolating. Especially, we found that during COVID, and a lot of our clients still are having to be very careful to not catch COVID or the flu or anything, because their immune system is already compromised. So it lends to a somewhat isolating experience during a time when you need support, emotional support. So we've found that some of our clients, Friday is their favorite day. Their favorite day of the week, because they get, a fresh bouquet of flowers. They get a big bag of meals that are made with love. They get a menu and a little nutrition newsletter on the back. So I think it's a way for them to feel that they have the support of people, even though they might be living alone. Hopefully, they're also getting the support from their, the people in the hospital and their the medical staff, so that they, aren't as scared, and that they can stay kind of emotionally balanced somewhat during such a challenging time.
Yeah. How do you hold up knowing that these people are going through such a terrible time in their lives?
That's a great question too. I don't deliver. I don't deliver to our clients. I only do occasionally, and when I do, it's a good reminder of what we're doing and why we're doing it. But otherwise, I think it can be emotionally taxing to really try to do so much while having direct contact with the client. So I love talking on the phone with them. I love getting letters from them or emails. Our team, we try to stay really just positive, and that we believe in what we're doing, and that it can actually make a difference in the trajectory of someone's life. We really, really just want to believe that through love and through good food, anything is possible, Quintin.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. And how have you and your team become innovative with your delivery of food to the patients?
Well, luckily we have such a dedicated group of volunteers. So as we've really kind of exploded and grown over the past year, we so far have not had to put anyone on a wait list. We can accept any application that comes through our door as long as they meet the criteria of being under a doctor's care and in need of that. So we really have relied on the community stepping up and answering our call for help and support. That's through volunteers, that's through fundraising that we do. It takes all of us to make it happen. So we're really thankful and lucky to have such a dedicated community with us.
Absolutely. And going forward, what exactly is your fundraising plan to keep the organization afloat?
Well, Quintin, I'm thankful you asked that. We are in the midst of fundraising right now. We have an online campaign that we have a goal of 20,000 to reach during the month of October. And if you go on our website, you can see, $35 pays for a client's meals for the week. 70 pays for a client and their caregiver. So if the caregiver is present, we also serve them because we need to reduce the stress of the whole household and keep everybody healthy, and that includes the caregiver. It's a lot of work to care for someone that's sick. So and then we have a bunch of fun cooking classes with guest chefs coming up. And then we have our annual holiday auction that's online. That's going to be December 1st through the 10th. That's a great way to shop locally and support our mission for the holidays. So, and then we have our Merry Mingle on December 9th. So we're looking forward to that. We hope we'll see you here, Quintin, with us.
Yes, yes, indeed, absolutely. And how many clients do you serve versus the actual caregivers?
Gosh, that's a great question. I guess about 50% of our clients live alone. So we are probably serving about 30 or 40 people that have a caregiver, something like that. Yeah.
And as you know, Ms. Maria, obviously this region is growing every day. So how do your organization keep up with that growth with smart growth?
I think we rely a lot on the wisdom of our board of directors. So they are helping us right now really do some strategic planning for our growth, because the last year was a little shocking how fast things went. And we want to make sure that we I am very passionate about not having a wait list and being able to accept anybody that is in need of our services. So just like everything else, it takes a team to plan sustainably for our growth in the future, but want to continue to grow. This has been my home since 1994, so I love the Low Country. I love Charleston. I feel very dedicated to our community.
Yes, indeed. What is the biggest difference about Charleston and obviously, the food when it comes to food, that is, from 94 until right now?
What is the difference?
Biggest difference, yes, ma'am.
Well, as far as for us, I think the number of farmers that offer availability for the community to buy from them has exploded. I mean, you just have to look, and there's definitely a farmer or a grower near you, or that drops off vegetables near you that you can order from them. So that's been really great to see. And then, of course, our restaurant scene has just exploded since 1994. I think a lot for the better. There's definitely much better food now than there was back then. So, and as far as how the type of food that we serve, there's a lot more plant-based and vegan restaurants, and food trucks and caterers that have cropped up, or even just the restaurants offering a healthier option on their menu. I think that's really changed. A lot of restaurants also source locally, which I think is awesome, to support the restaurants that are supporting our farmers in turn.
Oh, absolutely. And I want to get back to that in just a second. But you talked earlier about the cooking classes. So how many of your clients actually attend those classes, and how many people from the outside attend those cooking classes?
Yeah, those cooking classes are mostly for the greater community. So they act as a fundraiser for us. We do have some community classes that we offer that are free for our clients to attend. So sometimes our clients do attend those. Our guest chef classes tend to be more from the greater community, from outside.
Wow.
That people that are just curious about, integrating more plant-based foods into their life, or even just being more inspired in their kitchen, getting some new ideas and skills, and learning from some of these fun chefs. So, we love having the classes here.
And what new skills have you developed since developing Amor Healing Kitchen?
Oh gosh, a whole lot. Too long for this interview. I used to be a high school teacher, so I was a high school teacher for 14 years, which is a whole different skill set. But a lot of it definitely has served me and has carried over. And I think just keeping kind of that growth mindset, that desire to keep learning every single morning when I wake up. I learn something new every day, and learning from my mistakes, and just moving forward from there, recognizing them, owning them. We all should just be learning. If we're not learning, what are we doing? There's so much to learn in life.
It is. It absolutely. I concur very much so. So what mistakes have you made at Amor Healing Kitchen that now you are getting better at correcting?
Well, luckily they've never been mistakes that affected clients or volunteers. So we keep everyone very safe. So it's more kind of like learning from events that we've had, learning in the way that I go into planning, and being open, very open to handing things over to people. We all have our strengths, and numbers, for instance, are not my strength. I'm very passionate. I love being out in the community and talking to people. So just knowing what is your strength, and then finding someone who is better at certain things than you are. It takes all of us. So kind of having that, I love sharing ideas, and I love counting on a team to get things done. It's never just me. Never. Not once.
Indeed. And speaking of sharing, Ms. Maria, let me ask you, you talk about those restaurant menus, and we all know about the restaurant menus in this particular town. But what item from those restaurant menus have you adopted with your particular organization?
Well, gosh, that's a question for our chef and culinary director. She does all the menu planning. I think all of us talk a lot about food. Our whole team, we're pretty excited and inspired by food. So, maybe we mention if we went out to eat, what we had. We love learning new things, and we come across a recipe that was inspirational. We share it with each other. And she really bases the menu off of the donations that we get week to week. So like I said, what's in season, and then what we get donated, and then she builds our menu based on that for the week. So she has a very creative job that keeps her on her toes. I think it would keep me on my toes at least. So
yes, indeed, absolutely. Well, Maria Kelly with Amor Healing Kitchen, thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you so much, Quintin. It was great talking with you.
Likewise.